I am still here. My heart beats harder than before, thumping a cadence with a trumpet and a roar. I am still here. My mind is strong and willing, living and feeling with every fibre of my being. I will be healthy and I will be well again. I must believe it to keep away the pain. I will be proud and will stand tall in the storm as my cancer rages against my will and my form. I got a lump under my arm and it came up seemingly overnight. This was in April 2016. And so literally next day I was in the doctor. He said, see a consultant. The following week I was in a consultant, had an MRI or a CT scan, and they said, oh, it looks, it needs to come out. And I had an operation. So that all happened, that was in 1 week from finding this lump. I duly Google this and think, oh, I'm going to get lymphoma or something. No, I got melanoma. So I went from straight to stage 3 melanoma in April 2016. Then I was on, various things were done, but the key point was in February of this year, 2017, I had a seizure. And when scans were done on my brain, they actually found I'd gone fully metastatic, and there were 7 tumours in my brain. And one of those had bled or had some sort of impact on my brain, which was why I had the seizure. Choosing the personalised approach and getting it right for me is something where I am one of those patients. I'm not a nice patient to have, and I make my oncologist at Christie laugh and smile when I say it. They go, in my last appointment, they already had the printouts with my blood tests ready because they know I'm going to ask. They already had my radiologist reports for the scans because they know I want to see them, because that's just what I want to do. So I think it's so, for me personally, taking control was the most important thing for me to do, to feel better. Because if you feel like you are at sea and drowning and there's nothing you can do, what do? You give up.
Rollo has been married to his wife Jo for 24 years. Throughout his journey with melanoma, she has supported him, and ultimately the decisions he has made.
So when Rollo was first diagnosed, and he was in a group for people, obviously, who were all at various stages of the same illness, I think at the time 2 other people were diagnosed in similar situations. And it was interesting to see everybody's different take on what you do. And, you know, certainly I think the majority of people take the, oh, what the heck mode, and, you know, eat cake, drink wine, and basically medicate themselves just to try and make them feel better. And no point did I ever see Rollo feel sorry for himself. We never went down the poor me, why me. He actually, I think, truly believes that he's caused it himself and takes ownership of the fact that he's done it. And I think by taking ownership of it, I think that he also believes, therefore, if he can cause it, he can cure it.
Rollo is a patient at the Christie Hospital, a national cancer centre based in Manchester. It's where he receives his treatment and regular scans, and is able to discuss his options with his oncologist.
Actually signifies something else, the fact there's a significant change in the side effect profile.
Generally no. So my understanding is that the dabrafenib tablets were started back in February. And then we had a course of I think a couple of weeks where we tried adding the trametinib and the side effects, and we stopped. Because it's going to be looked at in future scans. If things are changing by a significant amount at any point, I'd suggest then we look at it. Otherwise, I would say just leave well alone.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that.
So personal medicine can mean a lot of different things.
Indeed, yeah.
So one of the things that we often think about in terms of personal medicine is trying to work out what type of a disease somebody has. So Rollo's got metastatic melanoma, but there are different types of melanoma that can behave in different ways. And there are different ways that we can analyse the melanoma, and the treatment that he's on is a form of personalised medicine. We know that his melanoma has got this particular mutation called the BRAF mutation, and these drugs are targeted to that mutation. So that's a form of personalised medicine. About half of melanomas have that, so it's personalised, but to an extent. It may well be that as we go on, there may be other things that we pick up in the melanoma that allow us to personalise treatment even more further down the line. I guess the other aspect of personalised medicine is saying, look, we've got this treatment that we give people, but again, it's about working out what's right for you in terms of the treatment and in terms of the dosage, in terms of side effects.
Rollo is at odds with how to tackle his cancer. He could do all the treatments in the world to prolong his life, but is there any point if the quality isn't there?
If you focus on the illness rather than your wellness, you fill yourself with negativity and doubt and fear and problems, and you've got to look at it. You've got to face your illness. There's no question. It's got to be accepted. It's part of me. It's come from me. It's come from within me. It is me. But it's not who I want to be. So if you start to think in those terms and start to think, or as I did, start to think about, actually, I don't know how long I've got left. I'm going to enjoy what's there. That's the first premise. Secondly, if I want to enjoy it, whether we call it quality of life or whether we call it a desire to make sure I'm doing everything to be as well as possible, that's got to be it's a much more positive thing to do. It's much more positive to focus on things which are going to be good for me, giving up sugar, losing weight, doing exercise, enjoying my yoga, wrapping my head around my neck, which I can't do yet, but one day maybe. The focusing on something which is bettering me puts you in a much better frame of mind than thinking I've got 3 tumours in my brain and they're going to kill me. Probably, possibly, maybe, no. Where do I sit on that? I don't know. It's in the future. I don't know. So I want to be, so everything I try and do is about, does it make me well? And well doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to live any longer. That's something I just have to accept, and I do. But boy, does it make a difference to your approach to this. Everybody tells me, a lot of people tell me, oh, you're such an inspiration. No, I'm not. I'm not an inspiration. It's just a frame of mind. If you can begin to think of positive thoughts, everything gets better. The battle, I learned, is not what most are thinking. My enemy is fear, and not the tumours growing. I must prevail and understand the truth I face, that the outcome matters less than the steps I place. I will be healthy. I will hold firm for a little while. It breeds hope within me and allows me to smile, to run, to talk, to laugh, to feel more alive, for all that life throws as I wrestle and strive.